If you are someone who vapes right now, or even if you have friends who vape, this video might just save 10 to 20 years of your life or your friends' lives. Okay? So nobody actually understands how bad vaping is. You know, it's been promoted as the safe option to smoking. It smells good and it tastes good, so it must be healthy. You are so wrong, okay? And everybody's wrong about it. They think it's way safer than smoking. You know, cigarettes kill people, but vaping's healthy because it's liquid vapor. Just listen to me for like 5 minutes. I'll make this quick. I just want to give you my view on it as someone who used to sell vapes and someone who actually vape myself, how I quit, and just basically why you have to quit. If you don't want to quit after this video, man, it's your life. You live it however you want. It's also your funeral, so you decide when you want to die, whatever, okay? So, first off, my story. I sold vapes for about 3 or 4 months. I would buy them in bulk from China. I'd buy like 100, 200 vapes at once, and then I would sell them for like 20 bucks. So I'd buy them for $5, I'd sell them for 20 bucks, right? I did this for a little bit, and eventually it got to me. I wasn't smoking, I wasn't addicted to anything like that. I didn't really even know what nicotine was like. But over time, you know, just being out in the club environment, smelling other people's vapes, hitting people's vapes, hitting friends' vapes, and you know, you get that dopamine hit as soon as you try it. So eventually I got addicted to it, and yeah, I got addicted to vaping. And I started off where I'd only hit it maybe once every 30 minutes, once every hour. And then it progressed to a point where, you know, every 5 to 10 minutes, I'm like, I was just fucking like an addict, bro. Like a fucking addict, just going ham. I shouldn't be swearing because there's the church right there. I'm a chill, okay. Anyway, once I started vaping, it started taking a toll on my health. So whenever I was going really hard during my sets at gym, I'd struggle to be able to take deep breaths, and my breathing was very shallow compared to how it normally was. You know, if I were to exhale all of my oxygen, so like, I would always cough. I couldn't do that without coughing. I would always have a phlegmy throat, so I was coughing up phlegm all the time, and it was just disgusting. Like, I'd have to do it in public and all that, or I'd just swallow it and it'd just make it worse. Like, it was really bad. And you shouldn't be having a phlegmy throat. You should be able to breathe properly, especially if you're young. Like, that is so serious. What else? I'd have it, if I didn't hit my vape for a while, I'd start getting headaches, and I'd start feeling sick, and I'd get this anxiety and all this different stuff that is caused by the nicotine receptors in our brain, because it's making us need to hit the nicotine to get rid of those, you know, negative things that are caused by the nicotine, right? Those negative effects. And it's just called withdrawal. And it's gonna suck trying to quit, especially if you've been smoking for a long time, but it has to be done. All right, so why should you quit? Like, oh, but I like it, and you know, everybody else does it. It's healthy. No, it's not, okay? So the vapes that you're smoking right now, here in Australia, we have like what I get, HQDs, you know, and whatever. So those vapes you're buying from sketchy stores, you're buying from smoke shops, you're buying from gas stations. You're paying like 15 to 20 bucks, maybe 30 bucks a vape. But if you were to actually buy these vapes from the official store, like let's say iGet, for example, if you were to go to iGet.com, their official site, and buy a vape off it, it would cost you $50 to $60 per vape, right? So how are these stores selling them for $20? It's not adding up, is it? It's because they're replicas, they're not actually real. So in Australia, and I'd imagine whatever country you're in, there would be rules and regulations with nicotine, what they're legally allowed to put into the vapes, and you know, all that stuff. Like there's health protocols that they got to go through to actually put it out on the market. Whereas the vapes that you're buying from the stores, they're made in China in these massive slave factories with the most toxic chemicals you can ever imagine, because they don't have any health protocols. They don't have any of that. Like they can make it however they want. They can put, you know, battery acid. There's like stuff that's in weed killer. There's chemicals in pesticides. Bunch of other stuff. Like there's metals in it that you're inhaling, bro. Like and that's like everything that are in them. They do have chemicals that are in battery acid. There's a chemical that is used to harden concrete, and you're breathing it down into your lungs. There's chemicals that are in pesticides, in like rat killer, in all these extremely toxic things that are used to, you know, either kill things or like there's a thing that reserves bodies that is used for dead bodies, bro. Like when someone dies, they use it on the body to keep them looking, I don't want to say alive because that's not the right word, but it keeps them looking, it stops them from decaying. That's what I'm trying to say. It stops them from decaying, and you are inhaling that into your lungs. It is eating away at your brain. You're putting these toxic things into your brain, and it's destroying your health. Yeah, you might not have any negative side effects yet, but let me tell you a quick story, right? My friend used to know this girl. She went to his school. Now she's only like 22, 23 years old. 22, 23 years old, right? Let's say she's 23, okay? And she was smoking for 2 years a vape a day, which is like, that's nuts, right? A whole vape a day. That's like, bro, that's like 1,000 hits, 2,000 hits every single day. That means she's just non-stop, just stare like, all right? Anyway, bro, she had to get a lung transplant after 2 years of smoking a vape a day. A lung transplant at 23. Caused purely from vapes. She didn't smoke cigarettes, she didn't do any of that. It's just vapes. And it's happened multiple times, you know? I'll put a video at the end of this where you can see a young kid who's going through the exact same thing, right? His lungs collapsed due to vaping, due to inhaling these toxic chemicals. And it is only a matter of time. It's not going to kill you quickly. And for that reason, so many people think, oh yeah, it'll be fine, like I'll worry about it later, whatever, if I die at like 70, whatever. You're not going to be saying that when you're 70, especially if your life expectancy was 88 years old. And it's going to start killing you a lot earlier than that. By the time you're 50, you're going to start having all these health consequences that are just destroying your day-to-day life. It makes it so you can't exercise, you can't breathe properly. You probably got lung infections by that time, so you're constantly going in and out of surgeries, you're going to doctors, you've destroyed your brain, you're just all messed up in the head now. And you've got this addiction because you're just inhaling dopamine into your brain over and over and over throughout the day. So over time, your base level of dopamine is actually going to drop down. It is going to plummet. And over years and years, say your base level's up here, just from vaping alone. This isn't including all the junk food, your porn addiction, whatever. It's just from vaping. It's going to go like this over years and years and years until you get to the point where you're just depressed and you're dependent on smoking these toxic chemicals to just feel okay, right? Just to feel okay for a couple of seconds, and then you'll need it again because you'll just feel depressed and you'll feel like shit, okay? So just think about that next time you take a hit. Think about all the toxic chemicals that you're putting into your body that are killing you. And think about your future self, right? Do you want to grow up to see your kids have kids, and then their kids have kids, and you got this giant family around you, and all the Christmases and the birthdays, and you have a bunch of people come, and you know, like, bro, that's your life, right? It's not gonna change as you get older. You're not gonna get old and then become this different person and not care about life. You are who you are right now when you're older. You're the same person. You've just grown old, right? So why would you want to die early? Okay? You want to live out your entire life, right? Isn't that what you want? Anyway, how I ended up quitting, I destroyed my vape. So if you're still saying, oh, you know, I'll quit vaping soon, I will, you know, finish my vape and then I'll stop vaping, I'll quit tomorrow, it's never going to happen. You're giving yourself unlimited excuses. Your vape's gonna die, it's gonna stop working. Oh, I'll quit vaping. You stop for 2 days and then you go buy another vape. I know how it is. I've been through it as well, man. I understand it. I understand the nicotine withdrawals, all that, right? What you have to do is actually make the conscious decision to destroy your vape. You have to either just go chuck it in some water, go, you know, snap it in half, whatever it is, destroy that vape. And take yourself away from the environments where you're able to then, you know, vape on someone else's vape, or I don't know, an environment where you have vapes around you, right? So if there's a store that's like 2 blocks away and it's just very easy to walk there or get there and then buy another vape, get out of there, right? Don't give yourself any option to then vape again, but you have to tell yourself at the same time, I don't vape. I don't want to die early. I do not want to kill myself. I do not inhale toxic chemicals into my lungs. I do not destroy my brain. I don't vape. You have to keep telling yourself that over and over and over and get that embedded into your mind and completely change who you are. Because I was the guy who vaped. I was the guy who sold vapes. And when I was with friends, I'd ask for their vape because I enjoyed vapes. And then as soon as I started telling myself that, every single time I'd hit it, I'd be like, I am killing myself. What am I doing? Why am I doing this to myself? And then over time, it just progressed into saying all of that. And I stopped because I didn't identify as that guy who vaped anymore. That wasn't me. And that's exactly what you have to do. Destroy the vape. Get away from the environment where you're around friends who are vaping. You're around all this negative stuff. Even get your friends off the vapes. Like, I had a friend who was vaping and I told him my story. I told him about this and he hasn't touched a vape since. He smokes cigarettes now. And cigarettes are not good for you. They have thousands of different toxic chemicals as well. But they're nowhere near as bad as vaping. So I'm not saying you have to go cold turkey and quit everything. But do something that isn't vaping. Don't vape disposable, you know, replicas that you are buying for $20, $30. Do not do them. They are going to kill you. It doesn't matter what you choose to do. You can go to the store, buy one of those, you know, $100 vapes, like a proper one that's actually made with decent quality, and then buy vape liquid that is, you know, legal, right, in your country. So it's actually just VG, PG, and nicotine, which are like the ingredients that are in vapes. I don't think that's super bad for you. It's definitely not good for you, and I'm not saying do it, but if it's going to get you off vaping disposable vapes, go for it. Get those nicotine patches, use nicotine gum, go to cigarettes, whatever it takes, just stop doing it. Please, do it for yourself, do it for your future. You're not gonna realize it until you get older, but it's killing you right now, and it's only a matter of time. You want to live your entire life out. You don't want to take off 15. My phone actually overheated, so the video cut out. But do it for your future self. Do it for your wife or your husband. Do it for your kids, your family, and live a full life. Because this will kill you early, I promise you that. Okay? I believe in you and I know you can do it. Just implement the things that I just gave to you, and you will be able to quit. Do not identify as somebody who vapes. You do not vape, okay? You don't vape, and destroy your vape right now. Do it today. That is your one actionable task. Just destroy that vape, put it in some water, throw it in the bin, snap it in half, whatever it is, just get rid of it, okay? You got this. You got this.
From the coughing to the ominous sounds of a ventilator, these are the gripping images.
It just progressively got worse extremely fast.
17-year-old Tristan Zofeld wants you to see the lowest point so far in his young life, and doctors say he got here because of vaping.
I woke up just throwing up everywhere, and my heart was...
Medically induced coma, and understand what was happening. Tests for infections, diseases, even pneumonia came back negative, but a family member soon revealed something no one ever knew about the teen. He'd been vaping since 8th grade.